In today's episode, I got to sit down with Dr. Joe Kasper, a distinguished professional vitamin formulator, clinical nutritionist, keynote speaker, and author. Dr. Joe is going to let us in on the secrets of the supplement world and tell us how to choose a quality product. Join us as Dr. Kasper breaks down the essential factors to consider when selecting supplements for your beloved dog, as well as human animals and your cats too. Don't forget them. In this episode, you'll gain valuable insights into the world of supplements, dispelling myths and misconceptions along the way. Together, we'll discover how the right supplements can contribute to a happier, healthier life for your four-legged companion. Have you tried training methods that just didn't work? Do you feel that your pet is not getting his or her nutritional needs met? Are illnesses and bad behavior your daily norm? You're going to want to join me on the Pet Parenting Reset, where you'll hear interesting and informative interviews and get solutions to all your pet problems. I'm your host, Jessica L. Fisher. All right. Well, Dr. Joe, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm super excited about this because you have so much energy, of course. That's one of the main reasons why I'm so excited. But this is actually totally unlike any other interview I've had on this particular podcast. I'm really excited for the listeners to hear about you and what you do and how we can take the information you have and apply it to our pets. So who are you?
I've been asking myself that question for many years. Well, I'm a nutrition doctor and a professional vitamin supplement formulator. I used to be a phys ed teacher many years ago, but it didn't fit my personality because I don't like to be told what to do. So I love what I do now, and I'm helping people. Also now my vitamins are actually viable because pets can take them as well. And I'm making a difference in society. I think that's what it's about. As I've always said when I formulate, the back of my shirts always say there's no mass production ever. So my stuff will never be sold in the stores. The ingredients will never be made in China. I'm doing it my way, which will never make me rich, but I got to live with this guy, and that's not easy to begin with.
Yeah, absolutely. So as a formulator, I feel like formulators are like a very special breed. Whether we're talking about human food supplements or animal food supplements, it just takes a bit more dedication, attention to detail, to really education, to really get in there and figure stuff out, figure out what's going to work, but not only what's going to work, but what's going to work with like the lowest side effect, highest benefit, lowest side effect, right?
Correct.
And whether we're talking about humans or dogs or cats, the supplement industry in general is just like there is so much out there. It can be really, really confusing for people.
Absolutely.
And so I was hoping you could kind of share a little bit of your expertise on like the back end of the supplement industry and how you make it work with your, as you've just said, like really, really high moral and ethical standards.
Yes. Here's the thing. I'll explain to people because they're not going to like this, but I got to be brutally honest. I always am anyway. So first of all, when most vitamin companies, what they have, almost every company, and it doesn't mean they're terrible, they mass produce, which means they're sold in stores, they're sold all over the place. They got to make a living. They have to make a profit. Do I make a profit? Absolutely. If I said no, I'd be a liar. But do I make the profit these other companies? No, because when you buy a product, let's say that is $50. Jessica, take a guess how much it costs to make that product. What do you think?
Oh,
any food or supplement product, what do you think it actually costs to make that $50 product?
Yeah, they're probably hoping for something maybe under $5.
Exactly right, about $3. That's exactly right. But when you mass produce, you get labels discounted, you get bottles, everything is cheaper. So if you call, let's say example, you said, hey, I want to own my own Jessica Vitamin Company, and you put a bunch of money in any company, they'll make whatever you want, which is scary. They'll make you, you got the money, they'll do it. And companies make for so many different companies. So when I was getting involved with this, I had a lot of network marketing companies come after me. Nothing wrong with it, but I want to do my own thing. And I found out that most companies get ingredients from China. That's one thing they do. They also do something I don't like is they share machinery. There's less than 10 companies in America, or probably the world, that has their own machinery. It doesn't mean they're terrible, but they're not as good as they wipe them off, of course, and they disinfect them. Of course they do that. But to have your own machinery is not easy. Just like when you go in the store and you buy, let's say, a vegan supplement, and it says pure, 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 and in the little tiny print it says manufactured on shared machinery. You've seen that before yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what goes on. It doesn't have to, but people choose to do it. So it's a unique industry. It doesn't mean that the stuff that's made in mass production is the worst thing. The problem is I feel the human body, when it comes to food or even animals, the least amount of processing, the better. But when you process less, the costs are higher. That's just the reality. So when I make my goat colostrum or my vanilla chocolate strawberry protein or my mom's butter, my goat ghee, I make 60 bottles at a time. The vanilla chocolate I make about 100, but I don't make a lot. And my stuff isn't sold in stores. And my goats are fed an incredible diet. There's no other animals on the property. They drink apple cider vinegar in their water every morning. I mean, that's amazing. And the machinery, the only thing that touches my machinery is goat stuff. So as far as I'm concerned, I am the gold standard. There's no vegan protein bed in mine, or no vegan butter, or no vegan colostrum. But there's no such thing as vegan colostrum anyway. That can't be. But nothing is in my league. But I can't hit the masses, and I never will. So the colostrum you got, okay, if you said, Joe, I need 100 bottles, I don't have them. I don't. And that's just the reality of it. So people can't partner with me. I can't network market it. There's not enough money in the kitty. But I'm happy doing it.
I think colostrum specifically is a really interesting product in itself that I think anyone who is interested in colostrum, first of all, you're probably pretty deep into educating yourself if you're looking into colostrum.
You are.
But if you've gotten to that point, you know that there are a lot of ethical issues around colostrum. So you do want it small batch. You do want to, buy it from somebody who you trust,
right,
that is being very ethical with the animals, right? Can you tell people a little bit about what colostrum is and why I just made that statement?
I will. So first of all, when you see in the store, it's bovine, which is cow. And I have an issue with cow. One of my good friends, we talk about it. He goes, Joe, cow isn't so bad. I said, well, I disagree with you. So when you mass produce this stuff, first of all, I can't say the companies that make the cow are doing it unethically because I don't know them personally, nor do I ever want to know them. So first of all, colostrum is the milk that comes out of any mammal, including humans, the first 48 hours of a baby's birth. And as a woman, you know this. It's the most nutrient-dense mineral thing you could find in the world. You can't measure it. So someone says, well, Joe, how many minerals are in your colostrum? I don't know. I couldn't. It's impossible to know. We take the excess. So when we take it away from the baby, goes the excess, and I make that into a vitamin. That's what I do. I don't take it away. Now, I cannot sit here and say, well, I think what these other companies do, because I don't know. And I don't like people say, well, I know what they're doing. I don't. I'm not in their lab and farm. I don't know how they feed their animals. It's none of my business. But I know what we do. The goats drink apple cider vinegar in their water every morning. The animals have a pristine diet. They roam free year round. There's no other farms near there where we have all this. So sometimes you'll have an organic farm. Like, for example, a friend of mine, Jessica, grew up in Missouri. And he had an organic farm. And he thought it was the craziest thing growing up. And now he thinks it's amazing. Well, there were other commercial farms near there. And they would spray those farms. And his father would come out with a shotgun trying to shoot the planes. He told me this. Because they would spray 10 miles away, but it's coming on their farm. My situation is nothing near it. It's in the middle of nowhere, which it should be. So, anyway, so when the babies are born, they get their colostrum, and then there's excess because they can't take it all. There's not that many goats. And I take that into a vitamin, which is great for digestion, acts as a probiotic digestive enzyme, and it works amazingly for gut health. It's incredible. Why not give it to pets?
Well, that's why I called you,
Yes,
right?
you did. Yes, you did.
Yes, because I was just talking to somebody right before I called you, and they were like, I've never thought of it before, but I think colostrum would be really great for leaky gut because I don't know how much you know about the incidents we're seeing leaky gut in our pets.
Oh, yeah.
People are talking about it, but our pets, I feel personally, have it even worse. Like they literally, it's still over 90% of the dogs and cats in the United States that are personally owned are still eating this highly processed dry food kibble diet,
Right,
right? Their entire
which is
lives.
crap. And then here's what happens too, and the same thing with human stuff. Whenever a company, and I'm not going to name names, I don't want to get myself beat up or killed, but whenever a company, let's say, has a product that's garbage, in terms of it can be laundry detergent, and all of a sudden they go, we have an organic product because we care. No, you don't. You're a liar. You're doing it to keep up with the Joneses. So if company A is all chemical product and then they have an organic version, who would trust that? And the food companies are doing it too. So if a food company has been making garbage for 50 years, all of a sudden we have an organic version because we love you. No, they don't. Example, would you buy a salad from McDonald's? Never. But they have it to save face. Not because they really want you. And I always say, okay, McDonald's really cares. Take out the hamburgers and sell salads. The business will be over in about a day. They'd be over. And the whole thing about grass-fed, grass-finished is more important, but it's not easy with pets. It's not. And yet they do have issues. But the problem is, example, veterinarians, what do? They load up, they give the dogs medication too much. Now, sometimes they need it, I get it. But reality was is the human body, the animal body, we can heal very well. In fact, by the way, just to let you know this, ask me how old the oldest dog in the world is right now, because I have that answer, by the way, for you on purpose. Ask me.
Yeah? How old
31 in
is the oldest?
Portugal.
Yeah, I think I just saw that actually a couple of weeks ago, and I was trying to recall it when you asked. And I think that's not even some people say that dogs, humans, we should all be living way longer than
Yes,
we
we
are.
can, for sure, for sure.
Way longer than we are. But yeah, no, our dogs, uh, they're the best, right? Like, so I just think that we as pet parents can do so much better for them. And the product, the goat colostrum product that you have specifically, I know I talked to you on the cruise that we met on earlier this
Right.
year, but about getting it, and I'm excited to get it for my dog because I actually did some testing, did a gut health test on her, and even though she has been raw fed since we've owned her, she still had an imbalanced gut microbiome. And so I've been working on that, and this is going to be a really great part, a little piece of the puzzle for me to add in, I think, to help her with digestive enzymes, as you said. In addition to, so like I'm also giving her fermented beets and things like that to
Very
help
smart.
with the digestive enzymes. But so yeah, like there's so much more that we can do for our pets, but specifically around like the supplement and the supplement industry. So just so people know, you do human supplements. That's your primary, like that's what you do.
But I want you to know, understand something. Going to a pet store and see all the vitamins, they're the same as humans. There's nothing different. Don't be fooled. Because dogs and cats can't talk, so they can't tell you they're really feeling. So when you see some veterinarian, I'm not going to name names, and someone goes, they do an infomercial and they go, well, I'm America's #1 whatever veterinarian, and I recommend these things. I get it, but their stuff isn't super pure either. They're mass producing. It doesn't mean it's terrible, but their stuff isn't the best of the best. They get ingredients from around the world. They're using shared machinery. It doesn't mean it's going to hurt your dog. I didn't say that, but again, they have to mass produce. They're in pet stores. They're selling whatever, but reality-wise is it's not as pure as it could be. And by the way, you made a great statement about you always fed your dog raw food. Now, it's funny, that dog in Portugal is 31 years old and has never had any canned food ever. The guy has the dog since he was 7, and the guy's 38 now. Amazing. And the dog lives on a farm, I guarantee, with no pollution.
Right. The exercise is such a key part as well. and just living in a clean environment, like you were saying. But the supplements specific, like there's really not much oversight, right? Like that's why the market is so congested.
Correct.
For supplements. But and as you said, there's so many things that overlap. Like we know we give dogs human probiotics. We share every mammal in the household is going to share a gut microbiome to some degree.
That's correct.
And we actually are starting to see on the pet side species specific probiotics and different things like that. As a matter of fact, I was just calling a company today or yesterday asking them about their FMT capsules because they do cat and dog, the fecal microbiome transfer capsules. And so they do, species specific, basically probiotics. And that's something relatively new to the market. But
here's the thing too, Jessica. When you read a bottle, read other ingredients. Like if I take my bottle right here, okay? I have almost nothing in this. Mine is made from 100% grass-fed goat milk pasture, so it's pesticide-free, chemical-free pastures, and it's held together in a vegetarian capsule, and I use stone ground rice flour to hold together. That's it. There's nothing else in there. So when these companies make stuff, and if they go, we source from the finest places on earth, that's bullcrap. They don't. And if they do, how pure is it really?
I remember what I was going to tell you because it was a big deal maybe a week or two ago. There was another recall. There's always recalls, but it was on an omega-3 supplement, a veterinary omega-3 supplement. And I think for some people, the people that really dive deep into the recalls and are trying to understand what is recalled, is my pet on something that was recalled. And it was an omega-3 supplement that was white labeled for over 60 different companies, many of which were veterinary offices. So when you were talking about that earlier, this is my product. I'm a veterinarian, blah, blah, blah. This is my product. This is what I recommend. A lot of times these are, and not always, some veterinarians and some nutritionists, and there are some people out there like you that are formulators that will formulate their own product. But a lot of times it's a white label product.
That's 90% of the time right. And medical doctors do the same thing. All of a sudden someone goes, I have the best stuff. You don't. Because it takes a lot of work. Because in reality-wise, if you have your own formula, which is fine, okay, you want to make money at this because this does make money, you're probably, I don't know anyone who's as nuts as me to not mass produce. I mean, that's the thing. I don't. That's why when someone says, how do you compare yourself? I can't because, again, I'm the gold standard. But it doesn't mean those other products are crappy. I'm not saying that at all. There can be some good stuff. And our bodies can sometimes take stuff because no one eats perfect, myself included. No one is a perfect eater. Anyone tells you they eat clean, I get a kick out of it. I meet people and they go, why eat healthy? And I know they're a liar because I didn't even ask them. They're like, why eat healthy? I eat clean. No, you don't. I play, competitive baseball, and the guy has a stomach out there. He goes, I eat healthy. I'm saying to myself, you don't, because you wouldn't have that stomach if you did. Cut the garbage. Stop lying to yourself and lying to me.
It is. There was actually a study that came out not too long ago that even the wines coming out of Napa Valley in California, even the ones labeled organic, still had glyphosate in them because it's in the water. We can't get away from all the toxins.
It's very difficult. We just can't. Example, people talk about pure olive oil. It doesn't exist in this country. Almost impossible. You have to get it from a foreign country. So one of the things that I do, Jessica, by the way, I put this in the pet's food too, is I use called mom's butter. It's goat ghee. And that's my mom, my late mother. So what's ingredient in this? One ingredient, goat ghee. And this thing has a 485 smoke point. So this is incredible. Again, you can put this is fat, of course, because by the way, any fat-free butter is fake. There's no trans fat, but this is great to put in the pet food as well. Helps their coat and everything too. This is a great thing to cook with. It blows away any olive oil in this country. Blows it away. But most people are not going to use this. They just won't because it takes effort. Mm-hmm. And example, my girlfriend and I, we cook all the time. Most people don't. I got people who I live in the villages in Florida. There's some great clients. Some refuse to cook. I got clients who spend $50,000 a year on going out to dinner. No joke. $50,000 a year going out to dinner. And they go, how come I can't get healthy? Well, there's your answer right there.
Yeah. Yeah, it was interesting. I was talking to a friend in the pet industry, and his wife, they prepared to get pregnant, and she stopped eating seed oils for I think 18 months before they conceived, and then
Smart,
through
very
the
smart.
pregnancy. And he was like, we couldn't go out to eat anywhere. Like there was nowhere to go to eat. So it makes so much
And
sense.
how healthy is the baby?
Oh my gosh, she is like, first of all, he's also a formulator, and he is the goat milk guy. So the his daughter's favorite, she won't even like. He tried to give her chocolate, an organic chocolate milk one time, like as a treat, and she was like, She wants her raw milk with cod liver oil in
Oh,
it. That's like what she likes.
but if they want to make chocolate milk, they can take the chocolate protein I have and put this in the goat milk. See, that would work. They just make chocolate milk.
Yeah, this child is like, it is night and day. She Everybody that meets her is like, she has no problem. She has her entire life slept through the night. Like they were very intentional about how they conceived and how, how they're feeding her and raising her, and she is just like off the charts.
I have a friend of mine in Australia. His kid has been taking the goat colostrum almost since birth, and the protein. They cook a mom's butter. His kid is going to be probably 6'6" now. He told me, because the kid is so tall and he's growing great because this stuff helps. I can't prove it 100%, but he goes, Joe, this is amazing. But most people just give in because they want to fit in. It's
Good
a
point.
fact.
Good point. Yeah.
So if you want to take a stand, you're going to get daggers thrown at you. I'm 56 years young, and my whole life people said, you're a health nut, you're a health nut, you're a health nut. And girls don't want to date me because you're too much of a health nut. Great, see you later. Now I got a girl who loves everything I do. When I met her, she was into protein bars and cereal McDonald's. Done. And guess what? She had a knee injury. I healed her up. We did a lot of rehab in the pool, changed her diet. She avoided surgery.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh
the
my
pets are
gosh.
healthy.
All
Never.
the knees, shoulders, back.
Yeah. So we both heal very well from playing sports because of better nutrition. Same thing with your pets. Your pet, like, example, after the show, I'm going to take away the dog for a walk because he needs one. But, he'll had colostrum in his food before. I'll put some more in tonight. It helps him. And you want the dogs to live as healthy as possible. I mean, I know people that dogs get cancer
Absolutely.
and they spend $20,000 in radiation chemo. The dog dies a few months later, which I get. But that maybe could have been avoided. Maybe. But people go, I'm not going to.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, they
absolutely.
go, well, I'm not going to buy expensive dog food. Why not? Your dog's worth it. Or your cat.
Yeah. I know. I always tell people you're going to pay now or you're going to pay later.
That's a fact.
That's yeah, absolutely. So if I can ask, why do you prefer goat over bovine?
A cow is an enormous animal, number one. A goat is about the size of a human, 120 to 200 pounds, give or take. And if you look around the country and the world, those animals aren't hormoned up any way, shape, or form. They're not. That's one thing. Also, the A2 enzyme in goat milk makes it very easy to digest. So approximately 90% of people who have dairy issues can handle goat. So, and example, when a woman is pregnant and then she has a baby, and let's say she can't breastfeed, what does the doctor say? Take formula. Formula is poison. It is pure poison. You give formula to your pet or your baby, you're giving them garbage. The next best thing is goat milk. Plant-based doesn't work as plant-based as chemicals and fillers. So to me, it's a great alternative to human milk. It really is. And it works. The bottom line is,
Yeah.
look through history, it's worked. But they have not found a way to make serious money with it in this country. That's why they push it away. That's the bottom line. It's about the money.
Very true. My dog gets raw goat milk every morning for breakfast. That's her
Awesome.
breakfast. So we are very much on the goat milk bus as well. And I have always heard that chilt babies, like that would be the better alternative. If So yeah, that was kind of what I was thinking too, is that like goats in general are just not as adulterated as what we have done to
Correct.
cows.
The whole thing about grass fed is a scam. Same with chicken. People go, well, I eat chicken over red meat. Well, why? Well, because someone said it's better. That's bull crap too. Or Greek yogurt. Greek yogurt's another scam. I mean, this is what people fall for. Chicken is not, I'm telling you as a nutritionist, chicken is not better than red meat. Elk and deer meat are red meats. They're 1,000 times healthier than any chicken you could ever buy in the store. Because they're wild. Person shoots them with a bow and arrow. They clean the meat. They give it to you. That's organic. That's just the reality of it.
Yeah. Yeah. When I was growing up, we ate a lot of deer because that's what my stepfather hunted. We had a lot of deer and a lot of bass. That was what we ate growing up.
The water's probably clean, right?
Yeah. Well, ish.
Yeah, I grew up in the Bronx and Staten Island. My water was a lot dirtier than yours, I'm sure.
Yeah, probably. We grew up on the James River, so But yeah, that's what we grew up on, and I candidly went through a phase where I fell for all of the hype. I was vegetarian for many, many years and thought I was going to be vegan for a while, and I couldn't pull it off. But I'm just so thankful that I have had the opportunity to learn from people like you how to really care for my body. And I really only did that because I learned how to care for my pets appropriately and then realized that I needed that for myself too. So I think there are two kinds of people in the world. There are going to be the people that they figure out their own health and then apply it to their pets, and then the people that figure out their pet's health and then apply it to them.
It's funny you say it, Jessica, because I'm trying the vegan stuff, vegetarian. I'm trying everything because it's good to know these things. And like, example, people January 1st go, I'm going on this super duper program. And I always say this, can you do it for the next 10 years? Well, no, then you're wasting your time. Like now the big thing is intermittent fasting. And some people get mad at me, but can you do that the rest of your life? No, example, my girlfriend is a super athlete. She could have been an Olympic athlete in the day. She's 58, does a 4.940. She's one of the fastest women in the world. She really is. Okay. If Sandy, my girlfriend, does intermittent fasting, she'll drop dead. I mean, she needs food. She needs nutrients. She's burning all the time. So programs don't work for each person. Everyone's body is different. And your cells change every 90 days. And most of them, when people have a health issue, a lot of it's up here in their head to start with. What happened with them growing up as a child? How their parents treat them? What happened in school? And then we find things. People go, well, I want a treat. Example, Sandy likes M&Ms. And in this house, we talk about it. M&Ms, are poison because of all the dyes. Well, I found her, made with quinoa, a better version of M&Ms. Okay? Not perfect, but better. The food coloring is beet juice. So that's better than what she would have done. So instead of saying, don't eat this, example, she likes bread. I found a sourdough bread with 3 ingredients. That's amazing. Because she's not going to cut out completely. So I gave her a better version of what she likes. And if nutritionists and people would say, okay, eat your M&Ms, eat your bread, but do the better version of them, we'll have less problems. Because if you go cold turkey, you're going to go back.
Very true.
And that's what I pretty much teach.
Very true.
I mean, I'm very adamant about it. That's why I wrote my book, Fire Your Diet, because a diet stands for depression, insecurity, emotional trauma. It's a victim club. Your diet will not work. And if you like the program you do, it will work. For the most part, unless it's too intense. But whatever you do, if you like it, like people say, well, Joe, you're not craving this. No, we all have things. Like example, we all have things we're susceptible to. Like example, I love the taste of coffee. I don't need a cup I've had 1 cup my whole life. I don't need it. Obviously, why would I want to do that? And when someone goes, well, there's low antioxidants. No, it's not. It's acidic. Alcohol is also acidic. I tell people, if you have an injury, cut out the alcohol, cut out the coffee, you'll heal quicker. Oh, really? Yeah, really. Well, my doctor said this. I don't care what your doctor said. He's probably out of shape too.
That is so true. Oh my gosh. My husband is always on that like, why am I going to listen to somebody, or why am I going to do an exercise or play a sport where I don't like the way the person who is that athlete looks, right? Like they don't look healthy. Like he's always saying, vegans don't look healthy. Why would I want to be vegan? Right? Like apply that.
but sometimes, your husband's one tough dude. I know. I mean, he's a very tough dude. But reality-wise, there are people out there who are vegan athletes who are incredibly fit. That works. Their discipline is unbelievable. But that's them. Be who you are. So other people, I want to be like that person. No, be who you are. I can't stand when I used to go to motivational seminars. I speak at them, as you know, and someone's on stage and go, "Wow, you could be like that person." That's bullcrap. I want to be like me. Now, you might listen to a person speak for an hour or 2 hours, and maybe you got a couple of nuggets to improve your life. That's great. But don't try to be that person. Like my girlfriend's told, she's 5'7". People go, "I want to be like Sandy." Well, if a best friend is 5'2", that'll never happen. Sorry, you just can't. Be the best version of who you are. And that's all you can do.
Yeah.
Same with your pet. You give them as much love as you can. That's all they want. Right, William?
Yes, we do. We try to make sure that we are giving our pets the best lives that we can with, at least for us. And what I teach people is, minimal toxin exposure. We don't use chemicals to clean in the home, minimal vaccinations. We don't do the neurotoxins, the topical flea, tick, all that jazz. And we feed the best diet we can afford to feed her. And we are blessed to be able to feed her a fully 100% whole food diet. And so when we see how incredible she is, people, our pet sitter asks me all the time, "Are you sure she's 9 years old?" Because they think she's 2. She has a ton of energy and she looks great and she gets around really well. And I attribute that to all of it. The more holistic we can be,
Absolutely.
I think, the better. But if I can get you to maybe sum up, you've given us so many nuggets on supplements specifically, what people should be looking for when they are considering a supplement, whether it's for themselves or their pet.
Very simple.
Can you give me just the top
Well, first
things?
of all, when you look at other ingredients and you see the following: magnesium stearate, titanium dioxide, any kind of coloring, red, yellow, whatever, wax, any of that stuff, in the trash immediately. Immediately. It's got to go. That's number one. And sometimes you'll see it's made almost like a can of tuna fish is made in 2 or 3 different countries. Got to go. Now, I can sit here and say, make sure it's not unshared machinery, but that's not going to happen unless you get my immune system balanced. By the way, I want to show this thing real quick. For pets.
Yeah.
You don't want to ever give a pet a capsule because of this, okay. So on my stuff, here's what we do with the pets. Very simple. So you take a capsule, which I got right here, and then you just open it up, and because it's vegetarian cellulose, which is fine, and it goes right in their food. Perfect. That's what you do for your pets. Well, you can also put it in your protein shake as well if you want. But yeah, you want to have the least amount of ingredients as possible. And if you don't understand what the ingredient is, it's probably garbage. If you're reading, now also, sometimes people make vitamins with ethanol, which is crap, olive oil, safflower oil. You don't need oils in your vitamins. And those oils are going to be rancid anyway. They're not pure. It's a holder and a filler. And if it's sitting on the shelf too long. You don't want that at all. You don't. It's not easy to find good pet supplements, same with humans. Pets is even more difficult. Don't buy from a pet store. I wouldn't. It's sitting there for how long? You don't know. And Jessica, if anyone wants to talk to me, can I give out my phone number? Would that be okay?
Absolutely, and I can put in whatever information you would like.
Please,
in the show notes
if someone's
as well.
breathing, I'll talk to them. That's my rule. My girlfriend thinks it's crazy. She goes, "Joe, you talk to everyone." I said, "That's right, I do." But if you want to talk to me, reach out to me at 917-399-9754. Let me say it one more time slowly. 917-399-9754. My email is drjoekasper@gmail.com. drjoekasper@gmail.com. You can go to kasperinstitute.com, which is my website, for coaching. I fly to people's homes, they come to me, or musclegoat.com. I got to warn you though, I will be brutally honest. If you can handle brutal honesty, if you want to add quality years to your life or your pet's life, I'm happy to assist you.
Awesome. Yes, I know. That's what I love to do, is to help people add quality to their pet's life, quality over quantity. Like you were saying with the chemotherapy and cancer, that may be a good solution for some pets, but for others, it just may not, because you really do want to give your pets the best quality of life that you possibly can. And there are holistic options for a lot of pets that you can do either instead of or alongside, cancer treatments that can really be beneficial
I have one of the leading cancer surgeons in the
pet.
country, Dr. Steve Sivic. We're personal friends. I know him from the cruise. Great guy. He's the only quadruple board certified cancer surgeon in the country. And he says all vitamins are crap, but he buys my stuff. And he uses it with his pets too, I'm sure. Great guy. And he loves my stuff. And he says, Joe, cancer can be avoided if people would eat better. But they won't. They won't. Which is sad.
Yeah. It is sad. And I think, that's just the society we live in, right? It's convenience. It's wanting to feel good all the time. You can't feel good all the time. That's not how life works.
Correct. That's correct.
Yeah. So, well, thank you so much for coming on and helping to educate us a little bit about, the world of supplements, because, in my view with my pets, I would much rather do everything I can with whole foods before looking to any sort of supplementation. But supplements are sometimes necessary.
Like I consider this, even though it's a supplement, it's made of food. It's gold colostrum, so it is food. Like I said, one of the things that's important is you want to have food. Now, you still got to eat real food. The dog can't live on this alone. I agree. But to me, this is the closest thing there is to real food out there in a supplement. Yeah,
I will say the gentleman I was talking about earlier, the other formulator in the pet food industry, who's the goat milk guy, and he will tell you, like, science can't tell you why. And, AFCO, which is the board of advisors for, American Feed Control, they would never in a million years say that goat milk is complete and balanced nutrition, but he has seen dogs live on nothing but raw goat's milk and water for more than 5 years. It's just the bet. Like, the egg is like the ideal food, right? Like, when you look at a food chart, everything it bases on the standard of an egg. I think we could also do that with milk if we understood milk better.
Now, example, we have duck eggs in this house over chicken, which is way better. The ducks laying the eggs, how were they conditioned? Everything goes back to the basics. Any kind of product you put in your body, from the beginning to the end, it got to your mouth. The trail matters. And that's what nutritionists will not talk about, because it doesn't sell. I'm at a point in my life where if someone doesn't want to hire me, okay, I got to live my life. I don't want someone as a client if they don't want to. If they're going to battle me, please go somewhere else. And I mean that. I want you to live a long life, but if you think you know what you're doing, then you know what you're doing. Most people don't do it. We both know
that. Of course we both know that. Well, thank you again so much for being here and sharing your wisdom with everybody, specifically on supplementation, because it's a crazy world out there, and we need some guidance from people like you who formulate and know the industry really, really well. So thank you. Aw, look at that, sweetie. Yes, he's like, okay, time for a walk.
Ready to go? Ready? But we're going to go for a walk.
Yes.
All right.
All right. Oh, he's adorable. Thank you so much. And everybody, make sure to check out the show notes. And if you would like to get in contact with Dr.
Thank you so
Joe
much,
Kasper.
Jessica. You're awesome. Appreciate you.
Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. Make sure that you're following the show so you never miss an episode. And please take a moment to rate the show on your podcast app. I'd also love it if you'd share this podcast with your friends and family so that they can benefit from the information to help their pets live long, happy lives too. Don't forget to take advantage of this special discount as a listener today and get access to over 100 online videos in my online dog training, The Furry Family Coach. Just go to thefurryfamilycoach.com and use code PODCAST at checkout to get your first month for only $7. That's thefurryfamilycoach.com and use code PODCAST at checkout to get your first month for only $7. I can't wait to have you join and see you on the inside.